You will have to jump off a cliff just knowing that you will not crash. If you're not in control of your emotions will be in control of you.
Premarital sex is engaging in sexual activities when you're not yet married or who you're not married to, legally married to.
Premarital sex, I would say, it's a sexual activity before marriage.
An activity that young people engage in before marriage. It's pre, then marital, that's before marriage, sex before marriage.
Is the engagement of sexual intercourse that subsists between unmarried persons. It could be same gender, it could be different genders. And I want to say that God who created man and even sexuality, unlike animals, there are restrictions to sexuality for human beings. And that restrictions, I would like to talk more on two sides of those restrictions. Number one, premarital sex, and the second side is extramarital sex. And while I've talked a little on premarital sex, let me also remind us that extramarital sex has to do with that sex that engages married couples outside their their legally established home.
First of all, I would really want to talk about sex. Why do people engage in sex, or why is sex meant for married people? You know, I will talk of procreation. The essence of sex is procreation, bond, and pleasure. So, but then premarital sex, people engage in it mostly because of the third, which is the least in the list I just mentioned now. That's pleasure.
I would say some people engage in it for fun. I would say some people engage in it to satisfy their sexual desires at that time. Talking of rapists. I would also say people engage in it because of depression. That's why you hear people say, I had sex with my ex because I want to pain my present boyfriend or something like that. So I think that's why.
An average person thinks whatever the masses do, he should do. An average person thinks majority carries the vote. And it is obvious that in our age, majority of our youths, majority engage in premarital sex.
Well, the society have made it common in the sense that everything you're doing now, you go on social media, they're talking about it, dance move, everything. Like everything is so normal. You hear of this one corner dance, you hear of social media posted, like they post things that relate to it, that you know that okay, this is what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's common because you know, we live in a generation. Over time, we are coming to a generation whereby youths, they want to know. We want to adventure. We want to find out things for ourselves. We no longer want to be told how things run. You know, because over time there's been a bridge between the morals or in the family line. So we want to venture, find out things for ourselves, because an average parent is busy, goes to work very early, comes back home late. So we want to venture into things. We want to know why is this secret? Why is mom and dad not talking about this? So let's know what it's like. So that's why most people venture into it.
The society is making it look like it's normal. So if you're not doing it, you're abnormal. That's how the society is making it look like.
Like my dad would say, what is wrong can never be right. There's no way you want to paint it. Generally, it's an act which is definitely not right.
An open and free food may be dangerous. Why do I say so? You ask majority of the dead rats what killed you. Some of them will tell you that I ate an open food which was free, and it led me to my early grave. And that is what is going on. Inability to wait and pay the bride price and legally gain ownership to enjoy sex in marriage.
Someone just has to be careful who you're with. And you know that anybody you're with, especially for the ladies, the person tends to leave something in you that you can't just walk away from the person. So you don't know who you're going to be with. So it's better to be on the safe side. Just know who you're dealing with, who you're having premarital sex with.
I think, from my own opinion, I think it is more better or cool to get married before you know your spouse sexually.
Anybody that engages in premarital sex, if pregnancy comes up, you see them running away, you see them talking about abortion, or the guy running away from the girl, or the girl, or the parents forcing the girl and all that to get married to the guy and all that. Then if you talk of bonding, you see that most of the times they don't bond. The guy just wants to do it for the pleasure. So which is the least on the list. So I really tell them, I really advise against it because it raises a lot of things. Unwanted pregnancy, we talk of unwanted pregnancy, we talk of sexually transmitted diseases, we talk of depression. Yeah, we talk of depression. Depression could be in the side of the lady, whereby the guy does this and he's like a hit and run driver. He's done with it and he leaves. And the guy's like, I thought you loved me. I thought we had this feeling and we engaged in this, but you're not forthcoming and all that. So I really advise people, premarital sex is not for us now. It's not for us. There's time for everything. The time now is not the time to engage in premarital sex because it has a way of affecting our thinking. Yeah, it has a way of affecting our thinking because you're busy thinking of how you're going to do this to the girl, how you do that to that girl, and all that and that. So you shift focus of your life goals. So I will really urge them to be focused. You need to abstain from premarital sex.
I found that there is not really much. I wouldn't say no fun there, but hey, one could wait. One could wait definitely.
See, really, you're going to get married and you have your wife all to yourself every day. You could have her every day. You could even tell her, honey, I don't want you to go to work today. I want us to just stay at home and just have fun. So why decide to do it now when you're meant to build your future? You're meant to build your future. Are you going to bring out children that you'll not be able to take care of? Barrel being that you've not been able to build up your future. So really, I would say that if you're focused on your goal, where you're going to, if you know where you're going to, you're focused on it, then premarital sex is not something that you should venture. It should not even cut across you. Yes, the temptation might come, your feelings might come, but then a man that is focused, you know how to divert those feelings.
Why are we rushing after free and open things today? That you see an open breast does not mean you touch, does not mean you run after. Ability to take what is yours may not kill you early.
It's more like premarital sex is like the fun that comes with much penalty or much problems than the fun in it. So when you think of it, you should think of the consequences that could follow.
And it gives you a kind of bad name in the sense that everybody's like, okay, this guy is a player. Or when you bring somebody, they're like, oh, she's just one of those girls he brings around. They don't see you as a special person. And then they're like, this girl is just somehow, she's just like, moving from one person to another. So it has so many negative impact if you're engaging in it.
Advantages, that's funny. I don't really know. Is there an advantage to that? To premarital sex, advantage. Okay, I would say, okay, so like we're Africans and some parents would say, okay, we don't know if this girl could give birth to a child, so why don't you impregnate her before marriage? But the truth stands that the Christianity came into Africa and we got to know of the supreme being, which is God, and I grew up knowing that God gives children. So I don't think there is an advantage to that. Trust me.
It doesn't make us, it doesn't add anything to us. It doesn't remove anything to us. We expect so much from it, but we may end up not getting it. So it doesn't mean anything to us. So it doesn't have anything in the sense that anybody that will love you for who you are. The person will love you for how you present yourself, and not because the person is loving you because you're good on this particular side. Maybe you're good on bed or something like that.
Okay, disadvantages to premarital sex. There are a whole lot of them, because first I would say it could lead to unwanted pregnancy. Everybody knows that. You could say, okay, it's just a fling, and afterwards she's pregnant, and what happens? And these in time have caused so many issues, because you see a young lady who's got a bright future, that wants to go to school and all of that. But when that happens, trust me, it changes her personality entirely, because because it affects just your academics.
Engagement in premarital sex can abort a destiny, can charter a man on course.
So for the lady, it's an emotional touch on most of them, because it's just from, of course, you just know that Tom is doing that to her, tomorrow John does it, tomorrow Samson does it, tomorrow Solomon does it to her. So it's something that, so she will lose focus of track. She'll lose focus, she won't be able to think straight, and she'll be emotionally down, because of course these days the guy comes in and tell you I love you just to able to get through you, and when he gets through he goes to the next person. So for the guys, it cuts across their savings, because nowadays you have to take the girl down to a mall to be able to get your attention to her attention to you. So it cuts across your savings, then it cuts across your time to do notable things, time to do important things. It goes across your time to do important things. So you just see them wasting their time thinking of how do I get this person, and then it goes across them discussing things that don't matter. Their circle of discussion cuts across things that don't really matter. So it cuts across their intellect too. Their intellect, they are not focused on what they are meant to be doing at the right time. So it cuts across their intellects too.
Another effect, some ladies would want to, like, oh, let me use the word now, flush it out, or let me abort the child. There could be complications, and that could affect the lady.
Now, it can make someone different in the sense that your emotional welfare, your mental health can be challenged.
What is wrong can never be right. To wait is still the best option.
Welcome back to Emotions. My name is Omenasa. So we have been talking about premarital sex and intercourse and its disadvantages. There are so many of them. The hormone that is in a woman when this dance is going on, oxytocin, and the hormone that comes out in a man, vasopressin, right? These hormones are meant for intimacy. They are meant for bonding. They are meant for attachment. They are meant to protect your partner. You understand? So can you just imagine being permeated by these hormones for the wrong person? So now you are bonding with the wrong person. You're now with somebody who you're not going to spend the rest of your life with. And even if it's somebody who you're going to spend the rest of your life with, marriage is totally different, completely different from a relationship. The dynamics are different, the demands are different, and the supply is different. You understand? So you don't want to, take a chance on that. Oh, yes, we are going to get married and we are going to get married. Yeah, but you also don't have enough information because you don't have those dynamics yet that could compensate. And let me tell you something. Dancing, intercourse, it will not compensate for the other dynamics. Have you ever been that kind of person where you look at the relationship and you say, he's a liar, she's a cheat, and you have this long list, and then you end it with, man, but they are good in bed, or they sabi dance. You understand? For the love of God, if you're honest with yourself, are you actually going to marry somebody because they are good in bed? Are you going to get married with somebody because of 5 minutes or 40 minutes or however? No, you can't bargain your whole lifetime on something that is so fickle yet important, but really not as pivotal as the other dynamics. So another thing with having premarital intercourse, you could get yourself in a situation where the woman is pregnant. That was not her plan. She wanted to go to school. But because of the attraction, it happened. And now a baby is here. So she's forced to abort, which now she has now put herself in a place of murder. Or she's forced to suck it up. But you know what? Single mothers and single fathers and all of that, even though that child is a blessing, man, it's an interruption. No? The thing just came from nowhere. It has altered everything, completely dabarooed everything. Everything is just all over the place. You understand? So, I mean, let us be for real, eh? Just don't. Have self-control. Wait until that marriage, because you see, if you're pregnant in marriage, everybody will be happy for you now. There will be no shame. Shame does not come with that, because there is a protection. There is a guard. There is a cage. There is a hedge. There is a roof. There is something. You understand? But to now, and let me speak to people. Because I know people who purposely go out to do these things so that they can have children. The wahala, if you're honest with yourself, the wahala is too much. You cannot use a baby to hook a man. No. Let me just tell you, you cannot use a baby to hook a person. You cannot. Because, and God help you too, that person has money. They will just use money to solve everything. You will still be lonely. You will still be rejected. You will still be abandoned. So please, the premarital intercourse is not necessary. Wait. So that you do not jump from one thing to another. So because of 5 minutes now, you have become a murderer. You are aborting all over the place. And the day now that you want to have a child, there will be a problem. There will be complications. One thing begets another. Let's practice self-control so that we are not having attachment to people that we know that we don't want to spend the rest of our lives with. Intercourse is like a sellotape. You understand? It's like a sellotape. And those hormones are the adhesive to the sellotape. So you're putting it on your body, right? And then you rip it off your skin. That means that you guys break up or you have a misunderstanding or whatever. Now you have to move on. Well, you really, really cannot move on or use the same sellotape with somebody else, because it's going to be weaker, because there are hairs behind that sellotape. So you've taken a part of that person with you. You've taken their disappointments. You've taken their shame. You've taken their wahala. You've taken their drama. You've taken their energy. That's why you would notice that whenever you break up with somebody, it kind of takes you a while to get yourself back. It takes you a while to recuperate, because what a relationship does is it has taken from you. So that's why a lot of people don't even get out of the relationship, because they don't want to go through that whole process. So if there is a possibility that that could happen, then why do we constantly keep doing this to ourselves? Now, what about the people who have been completely seared? Those are the people who don't have a conscience anymore. These are the people who have been doing it and doing it and doing it with so many different people. These are people who are like on the streets, or like people who have been raped, or you understand? They don't really feel anything anymore. They don't feel any remorse. They don't feel shame. They don't feel anything. They don't feel anything at all. What happens? Like, how do you replace the rubber band? Well, when you stop feeding something, it will die. That's just the God honest truth. If you want to replace something, that thing has to be completely eradicated, and then you replace. You cannot, it's like pouring new wine into old skin. You can't. It's burst. You can't do that. Okay, there'll be an explosion. So you're going to have to get rid of that habit, rid of that personality, and rid of the roots that even puts you there in the first place? Is it loneliness? Is it frustration? Is it poverty? Whatever even puts you in that place in the first place, you have to get that aspect of your life healed first. And then you now eradicate that habit of intercourse with somebody who is not your spouse. And then you can now replace it with being chaste. You now replace it because you see, like those hormones, the less you use them, the less bonding, of course. Now, some of you who are already married, you say, but we do it all the time and whatever, and my husband still doesn't protect me. Does that mean that his hormones are not working well? No. It just means that there are other factors, there are other dynamics, as I said, to marriage. It's not just intercourse. You understand? But having intercourse outside of marriage is really, really setting yourself up. It is like opening, it's like leaving your house unlocked. You know, anybody can just walk in, see everything about you, know where your checkbook is, know what your passwords are, know where you hide this, know where you hide that. They know your secrets. They know everything about you. And then now they just walk out with no commitment. Why would you put yourself through that? Why? It's not wise. You want to be in a relationship where the person values you. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say this. If you are in a relationship where you tell the person, hey, no intercourse before marriage, and the person puts pressure on you, he doesn't love you. She doesn't love you. Because if this person disregards your opinion at this time, when you get married, they will not take anything that is coming out of your mouth. They will not take it seriously at all. Anybody who cannot respect the measures that you take to protect yourself, they will not protect you and they will not respect you. It's as easy as ABC. I'm telling you, it is that simple. So magic is not going to take place after somebody has now seen you. They have seen everything about you. They know everything about you. They have seen your home. They know where you hide your money. They know everything about you. They know you. You understand? You don't have mouth anymore now. You can't defend yourself anymore. Intercourse outside of marriage is very, very dangerous because you are bonding and you're going to have an attachment with something that may or may not be. With something that may or may not be. Why would you take a chance like that? Why on earth will you jump off a cliff when you're not sure of a smooth landing? Why? Cement is cement. You will fall and you will crash and you will die. So, how do we stop these habits? Like I said, you stop watering it. Just stop it. Gain your satisfaction. Gain your love. Because a lot of people do all of this because they feel a connection. They want that connection. They want the touch. They want the romance. They want the validation. They, want the connectivity. That's what they want. Why don't you connect with yourself? And no, I am not talking about doing that with yourself. That's not what I mean. But if you start practicing more on your career, more on your assignment on earth, you would notice that your need to have such connectivity in that manner will reduce greatly. And then when you get married, you don't have to be scared of that form of vulnerability. But don't put yourself in that position. It is very, very toxic for you. It's toxic for the other person as well. We've been talking about premarital intercourse. It is enjoyable. It is meant for connectivity. But because of how powerful it is, it would be like giving your child a car to drive before he's of age, or your child has a bank account and they have access to all this money. They will squander it. They don't know what to do with it. You understand? They don't know what to do with it. It is coming before time. Everything in life has a time frame. Everything in life has a timing. So we should put a cap on these things. We should really, really love ourselves enough. Loving ourselves enough to protect ourselves, to protect our hearts and not gamble with our heart. Because premarital intercourse is gambling with your heart. Really, because you don't know the end results. Now, I'm not saying that there are some people who do it and it doesn't work for them. Bravo. But you don't know if you're going to be that person. You're going to have to get married first to know, right? See? You don't know that yet. So you have to protect yourself. You don't want your spouse suspecting you because you didn't have self control before you got married. So now he or she thinks that you don't have self control. And whenever he or she is not around, that's what you're doing. You don't want to encourage extramarital affairs. You don't want to put yourself in that position. You don't want your spouse to be suspicious. You don't also want your satisfaction to dwindle, because like you've already known each other now. So when you get married, there's nothing else to know now. It becomes boring. Like you've pretty much done everything that there is to do. You have been inventive, you have been adventurous. So, I mean, now you've entered into the marriage, there is nothing else to do, and you could find yourself in a position where you just feel like something is lacking. The rent is being paid, food is provided, everything is there. You have children, there's love, but there's just something that's missing. Hey, that's my opinion. Emotions is not here to encroach on your opinions. I'm just here to suggest that premarital intercourse is a no-go. Just don't do it. Okay? Wait for that right person, wait for that right one, because intercourse too has a way of blurring your vision. Even to people who are married, once you use that to solve a problem, the problem is over now. Once you use that to solve a fight, there is no solving, there is no solution. You just assume that the problem has been solved. That's how powerful it is. So, I mean, you don't want to put yourself in subjection to such power at the wrong time and with the wrong person. Okay, I'm going to see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. You will have to jump off a cliff just knowing that you will not crash. If you're not in control of your emotions will be in control of you.